Hello, thanks for joining us again here on the Black Belt News Network in Selma. I am in the beautiful home of Henry Hudson, who lives in Summerfield and is the local historian. Point blank, he is the historian for Summerfield. And Mr. Hudson, first of all, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for being here.
One of the main reasons I wanted to come up here was to talk about the homecoming that's coming up here in Summerfield. Tell us about the homecoming and what that's all about.
Since 1944, the first Sunday in May is homecoming in Summerfield at the historic Summerfield Methodist Church.
Mm-hmm.
We have a church service at 10:30 in the morning, and then have dinner on the grounds afterwards with the best caramel cake in all of Dallas County. But it's a chance for all the families to come back here and have a worship together and remember the heritage of this whole surrounding area. And so it's a joyful event. And this year, May 4th, we've got the preacher coming in. We always have a guest preacher.
Oh, wow.
Is Robert Childers. And Robert was the son of Miller and Hallie Childers, grew up in Selma and came to homecoming every year of his life coming on. He's a retired Episcopal priest, but well known to all of us, and we're delighted he's coming back to preach this year.
That's excellent. Mm-hmm. And when you say in the old Methodist Church, it's actually going to be in the old original building that's just across from your home.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Wow.
Now, I told you before, that's actually the new church.
The new church.
The original church was in the middle of Childers Chapel Cemetery on Summerfield Road. And this one, the new one, was built in 1845. So it's just,
yeah, it's just a baby compared to it. Right. Well, and I introduce you as the historian of Summerfield, and you are. The documentation we have, that you have here in this house that we've just seen since I walked in is amazing. Mm-hmm. So why do you keep this? Why do you have so much history?
Growing up, I grew up in Birmingham,
mm-hmm.
but we came down here to Summerfield to visit my grandparents very frequently.
Right.
Quail hunting and fishing and doing fun things that were all around. But this house is just, first of all, it's beautiful, it's wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
My grandmother grew up here, my grandparents retired here, and then my parents retired here, and then I retired here. So for the Hudsons, when we lose our job, this is where we come.
Oh, you lose your job. So how long has this house been in the Hudson family?
Well, directly in the family since right before 1900, but indirectly in terms of cousins and that forth, since it was built in 1840.
Wow. So this is really, it's almost like a one-owner home.
Yeah, well,
that's amazing, one family owner. Yeah, that is fantastic. And that, I think too often we're losing that kind of history. Mm-hmm. People don't wake up, don't realize how important that is. And they don't give it the attention that it needs.
Mm-hmm. The joy of this house and the pain is that nobody threw anything away. So in terms of documentation, under every bed there are boxes of photographs and documents of different kinds. It's wonderful to be able to be a part of that, and I try to preserve it as best I can and tell the story of Summerfield. It was founded in about 1819, 1820 as a town with a school. Valley Creek Academy was the first school that was here. Mm-hmm. And then in 1843, the Methodists built a college here. It was a beautiful building right around the curve up there. Right. And so it was a center for education. Selma had the river and later the railroads and all the trade and everything of that, but this was a kind of a separated part up in the hills a little bit.
Out in the country, so to speak.
Out in the country. This is our country home. Yeah. And but it's a wonderful little town. There was a bank, there were probably 500 people here before the Civil War, and 3 doctors and a post office and all the regular little town stuff. It's slowly faded since then. Yeah. But it's a wonderful place.
We really need to preserve this. We need to get it out there and let people know what we've got right here. Mm-hmm. And you pointed out the little school that's still there up the road. And across the road here is what was the bank itself, the brick building.
That's right.
So there's a lot of buildings still surviving
Yeah.
in this area.
And the bank was built by Mr. Sturdivant. They were out here
yeah.
too, and so was his bank building.
Sturdivant Hall, Sturdivant.
Yes.
That family.
He's the man that gave the money for Sturdivant Hall. That's
Ah,
right.
be darned.
So,
Wow.
And up the way, the Swifts and the Childers and lots of wonderful families.
Mhm.
And that's the joy of the homecoming, is that all of the descendants from all those families can gather back in and see what's going on, what are you doing, what's happening with you, and let's not forget, we're cousins, you have to be nice to me. That sort of thing. But it's a wonderful time. My remembering of it as a child was it was just magical. Because we came down and stayed here with my grandparents and ran around and saw cousins and all of that sort of thing. And then after the church service, at the end of the church service, the most important event is they call the roll of the church in 1847.
Oh.
And if you're still here, you stand up and are counted.
Wow.
So it's a dramatic moment.
Right.
And a little bit of rivalry between the families as to how many are there and who wins this year.
Right. But that's fun.
Yeah, it is. And it's great to see them and
Yeah.
see the connections that you would not otherwise know. And then afterwards, to go over to the schoolhouse and the dinner on the grounds, and not only is it great food, but for us growing up, it was the only time my mother would let us have caffeine. So,
Yeah.
there were 4 of us, 1 year apart, so we were a gang. And so we'd drink the iced tea and just get sweet tea.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course.
Yes. It was a long drive back to Birmingham after that, but
For your parents.
really. But it was just a wonderful time and playing out there in the Grove and all of that sort of thing. So
What part of Birmingham did you grow up in?
I grew up in Crestline Village.
Oh, yeah. I know that area well. And so that would have been a major change from that area, highly populated, houses close together, kind of. And then you come down here, that would have been like a whole different world.
Oh, we roamed all over these hills as kids. You wouldn't allow that to happen now, but it was
No.
great fun, and we knew everybody.
Right.
You know, one of the things I found in the documents with the church is Miller Childers, who was the great historian of all of this, found not only the roll for the church in 1847, but a list of the colored members
Oh, wow.
of the Methodist Church.
I'll be darned.
Now, they're identified by first name only,
Really?
and then the second column is owned by.
Oh, wow.
So it's right there. I'll let you look at it. But in terms of our relationship with the black families and people around here,
Right.
we knew them all.
Yeah.
And so even though I lived in Birmingham,
Right.
we were kin. Because we all lived right here,
Right.
and families had been intertwined for a long, long time. Yeah. And very frequently when we'd get over too far away, somebody'd come out and say, "You better get home to Miss Edna now."
Yeah.
So we were looking after each other, they were looking after us as kids and everything, so
That's what a community does.
it is, it is.
And again, we're losing that.
Mhm.
And that's what this homecoming,
Mhm.
it, to me, would be very important to help reinforce that.
As the years go on, our families have scattered further and further away,
Yeah.
so numbers have dwindled in one sense, and that's why it's so important to say, this is your chance to come home, to be a part of the family, to stand up and be counted, and break your diet a little bit. It's dinner on the ground. That's what it's for.
Well, now tell us when it is.
But always the first Sunday in May. So this year it's May the 4th.
Okay.
At 10:30 in the morning, the church service begins, and then and Robert will preach, and we'll have the calling of the roll, and then just retire over to the Grove to have our.
My phone. Sorry.
Oh, okay. At any rate, we'll retire over to the Grove to have that wonderful meal.
Train's coming through. That's awesome. So May the 4th.
Mhm.
May the 4th be with you.
Amen.
There you go.
Amen. And I hope we put up posters and things all around, but all are welcome.
Yeah.
It's really a fun and beautiful event.
Thank you, Mr. Hudson. It's good to see you again.
God bless you. Good to see you.
Thank you for watching. See you May 4th at Summerfield.